Alright guys, got this Kwik set from CH in Houma, California. No note, no instructions other than not so quick on this housing. There is no clip in this, so it falls apart. What I'm going to do is, I have an extra little pin. I'm just going to drop it down inside of there so that this thing doesn't pop out on me when I clamp it up in the vise. He did send me the keys, and again, I don't know why there's two of them and why they're wrapped separately, but they're still sealed. Let's see if we can clamp this dude up and see if he really is not so quick. Alright guys, this is definitely not a quick set. This is my attempt number 3. I had 2 previous attempts, 10 minutes each, and failed miserably on both of them. The only thing I got out of it was literally a very obscene false set, but at that point the core locked up, and when I tried to pick, I think it was pin number 1 or 2, I just lost everything. So I just gave up on both times. So there are 6 pins in this thing. Hopefully try number 3 is the winner here. All right, all the way in. A lot of feedback from this lock. I'm going to put the microphone a little bit closer. This thing really talks. But you almost immediately hear, when you pick it, you hear the pin fall back down. Okay, there's pin 2, a little bit of feedback on the tension wrench. And I do have a false set going now. Not the obscene one just yet. Pin 4, a little bit of counter rotation, very little. And I lost the false set. All right, got it back. And now we have the very deep false set. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm hung up on something with a narrow waist, a T-pin or a very narrow spool. It's taken me 2 attempts to get used to how faint the feedback is on this lock. When it gives feedback and counter rotation, I mean, it is ever so slight. Almost like there are ASA pins in here. Alright, I believe everyone is picked, and the only one I haven't monkeyed with, just like the last 2 failed attempts, is, let's see, it's pin number 1, I believe. He's all the way at the bottom. I'm getting nothing from anybody else. So let's go for failure number 3 here. All right, on pin number 1, I'm going to have to release some, or unwind the core a little bit. Come on, get up there. He's hung up on a ledge there or something. He just doesn't want to go. Come on. Okay. I got him, but I lost all the false set, everything. Okay, that was pin 6 again. It's pin 2 again. Tension wrench is falling out. Okay, that was 3 again. That was 2. I have no false set, so it leads me to believe I might have overset pin 1. Oh, maybe not. Pin 2, I get the false set back. Pin 1 is back down. Let's pick him right away. Let's leave him alone. Very deep false set. All right, let's, if you take a look at that, I'm on pin 2. I am getting the slightest of counter rotations. I'm going to unwind and try pin 2 this time. There we go. Oh, that was it. All right. I'm at 4 minutes 15 plus 2 10-minute failures. So that's 24 minutes to pick this not so quick. And I think I'd agree with that assessment. Nasty, nasty. All right, let's see what CH has put in here. All right, let me get rid of the housing. Why don't I go ahead and get a pinning tray up here. Put them right there. And let's take a look at the keys. I'm going to go ahead and lock them back up. And if the keys don't work, then the video will never make the light of day. All right, this is probably the ultimate solution. So if you can't get it open, this is what you're supposed to inject through your brain pan, I'm pretty sure. No, maybe not. Keychain. I like my first idea better because believe me, I was right on the edge of wishing for something like that. All right, 223 hollow point. That's probably a Sierra hollow point boat tail. Been fired though, darn it. All right, here, this must be the key. Because I doubt the bullet is the key. All right, I'm going to close the door because my air conditioner just kicked on. All right, that's a little bit distracting. All right, not so quick. It looks like melted shrink wrap with a layer of masking tape. It is shrink wrap. All right, we can beat that. I have the tool for it. And it would be this guy. Just as hard to get in the key as it is to get in the lock. All right, that's what you'd expect from a challenge lock. You got two pins, or a pin back here hiding behind the low one. You got two pins here hiding behind that low one in the front. Perfect bitting. Let's see if it works. And it does not. There we go. Whew. Thought I had wasted a lot of time here. It works. It's a little sticky, but it does work. All right. You know, with all these wonderful tools that I have bought from Knipex, none of them are going to handle this pin for me. But old school, isn't it? I think we can probably wedge him out of there like so. Get the medium on it. All right, right away I can see, let me set him right there. Right away we can see, looks like at least two T-pins, 1 and 3, and a little narrower one and 4. And we got some serrations on there, cool. All right, we have a serrated, serrated. Where'd you go? I just dropped him. There he is. Standard. Got a serration, or actually a spool on the end of them. I'll show you up close here in a second. Standard. Oh my gosh, this better be not all be standards. We have undercutting on every single cylinder on both sides. So that would explain getting hung up, especially when you look at a couple of these guys. Let me get these turned around right. He's right. These don't look like regular key pins, some of them. That one is. That one is. This guy is not. He's a flat tip on the bottom. Same with this one. He's flat. He's not a key pin. This is a key pin. And this one also is flat on the bottom. So that's going to throw off your feel a little bit. Get that tape off of there. All right, let's see what we got upstairs. What in the world? That is a narrow-waisted spool. And the spring is a tiny little sintered guy. Number 2. That is a narrow-waisted pin as well. The wafer was near the spring, and then this guy had the point pointed towards the spring. So that would let you get caught up in there, especially since he'd gone to the trouble to countermill the core. And we have a steel spring. Number 3 looks like another spool. Yeah, another spool, homemade, with yet a different spring. Number 4. Okay, again, same kind of deal. We had the wafer towards the spring and then that T-pin with the point going towards the spring, so it would kind of wobble there. Kind of like a drunken spool, but without the other half of the spool. Steel spring, different. All right, number 5 is another homemade spool with another one of these brass or copper springs. And the last one, a serrated. You knew there had to be one of those in there somewhere. And a steel spring. So we got a lot of variation in the springs. I couldn't help but to notice, I'm always looking for serrations now. The top of this is removable, so it makes sense that there would be serrations. Let me grab a light here. And these are not, actually these are not serrated. These are undercut or countermilled, just like the core. On the left side, I don't know if you can make that out, but on the left side, the first 4 are countermilled on the left side, and the first 2 are countermilled also on the right side. Chamber number 3 and chamber number 4 are not countermilled on the right side, so it depends on which way you try to turn the core. It's going to give you some different feedback. Looking in here, I think you can, maybe from the other end, you can see a little better. 1 and 2 are both sides, 3 is only on one side, and 4 is only on one side. I don't know how he did that. I always expected to catch something like this. This is the first person that actually found a way to do it. I wish, CH, man, that's all I know. I wish you'd included a note or something, but great job, and this is definitely not so quick, KWIK. Appreciate all the effort you put into this lock. Let me give you a close-up of these pins here. All right, first one, we have it looks like these are all homemade, a cut on the top of this, and it is a slightly narrower diameter, and then a spool with a wide diameter on the top and a narrow diameter on the bottom. And now remember, chamber 1 and 2 are undercut on both sides, so there's plenty of places for that and that cut to get caught. Chamber number 2, also countermill on both sides. Nothing on the key pin, just standard, but there's plenty of places for this guy to get caught. In fact, I think that's the last pin that I managed to pick. And if you look at him, he's actually multi-layered. He has a medium and then a very thin one. On this one, also a homemade spool, narrow on one end, wider on the other. Again, with the T-pin, the drunken T-pin actually, floating around. He's only countermilled on the core itself. So again, plenty of places for those two gaps, those two wide parts to get caught. Number 4, homemade spool. And number 6, oh, easy one, commercial serrated. And then this guy serrated on the top. So there you go. A lot of work went into this, a lot of thought. Plus all the springs are different. Appreciate the time, guys. Stay safe, stay legal.